want to say something about the art world, which is very stupid and which we have outgrown. We've grown out of this paradigm long time ago, but still the art world is deep in it, especially because of curators. And this is the old concept of show, don't tell. It's the same in literature, you know. They say the same thing in poetry especially, show, don't tell. It's so outdated. It's so much more powerful and also conceptual and much richer in discourse and connotations with tell, don't show. Just say it as it is. Say what you want to say, you know. That's the art of the future, simply because society is the art of the future, simply because humanity itself is the art of the future. And what is the art of the future when I say that humanity is the artwork of the future? Well, it is the fact that we as human beings will see and understand and know the human program for what it is. We are going to see ourselves. We're going to understand how the human brain works. Art is brain science, you know. Art is the phenomenology of perception. Art is science. And even though we can say that true science is very difficult to achieve simply because of the human program, the reason why true science is difficult to achieve is exactly because of the human program. Because we are looking and experiencing and perceiving and interpreting too through the human program. So we see what we want to see, so to speak. We create the world. The world is an interpretation not only by our own minds, but by the human program, by the makeup of the apparatus of perception. But anyway, show, don't tell is hopelessly outdated, and all the curators of the world sits in their chairs and cries and say to the artist, please show, don't tell, be a poet. Show some extremely powerful artworks that shows and doesn't tell, because if you tell, then art is dead. Well, art died 40 years ago, sweetie. It's a long time since that happened. Art is dead and everything is dead. Even you are dead. Even I am dead. Everything's dead. You know, because the only thing that's alive is honesty and insight. The only thing that's alive is insight, understanding, being able to expose that which happens. And that which happens is simply the human program. It's the workings of the brain. So tell, don't show, it's the paradigm of the future. Show, don't tell is outdated. It's like a vain cry for poetry or strong artworks, you know, that have so many different layers and connotations and implications. Yes, we understand that, sweetie. It's not difficult to understand that. But we don't have time for show, don't tell anymore. We don't have time because the world is burning, the world is falling down. There's no more world soon, you know. It's just 20 more years and then the whole shithouse goes up in flings, as they say, in LA, in Los Angeles, you know. So that's how it is. Tell, don't show. Don't waste time. We have to create a better world. We have to create a better society. We don't have time for show, don't tell. We don't have time for being poetic anymore. Well, of course, if it's true poetry, if it's poetry with prophetic and true, scientifically valid inner heart statements, of course, then we have time for it. But just show, don't tell is simply outdated, you know. All you curators who like and want and need show, don't tell from artists, you're hopelessly outdated, you know. You're in the kindergarten of art discourse. You're way out of line. You haven't entered the science and the philosophy of the mind of that which is the human program. The artwork of the future is to expose the human program so that humanity grows up within the program in which it lives. And we all live inside the human program. That's the only way that we can improve society. It doesn't make sense anymore to create artworks outside of the only true, valid and important discourse that we should engage in, namely, how do we live better lives? How do we organize this world in the best way possible? And that's why we need tell, don't show. Because there's a lot of show. There's a lot of show in tell too, you know, if you really tell it as it is. There's a lot of layers there too. There's a lot of connotations, there's a lot of implications, there's a lot of layers in tell, don't show, because it's conceptual as hell, you know, much more conceptual than show, don't tell. Professionals will understand what I mean, and we have to talk shop and business with professional people so that they wake up and enter the grown-up stage of intellectual and artistic life, because we don't have time anymore to play hide and seek. We don't have time anymore to be artists on the fringes of society. We have to occupy the space in which we live, which is the inner heart of humanity. And that's where we have to see and become aware of the human program so that we can create a better world, because that's the artwork of the future. The artwork of the future is humanity itself, simply because humanity could be art. Art could be humanity, and art should be humanity. Humanity should be art. So, tell, don't show. Just say it as it is. Get it out there so that our discourse, our dialogue is more truthful and more full of deep insights. Everything that we need in order to improve this little cake on which we live before it melts, before it falls apart. And it's quite a long way into the process of falling apart, as we all know. So we don't have time anymore for show, don't tell. We have only time for tell, don't show. We need serious business. We need art that is worth its weight in gold and in salt. we need artworks that are completely a part of that which is experienced as true. And that's why we need tell, don't show. But tell it in such a way that there's a lot of show in the telling. There's a lot of show in the telling if you have something really important and good to say. So that's how it is. Get into that which is truth, so that we can expose and see and investigate the human program, so that we understand completely what it is to be a human, so that we can understand how to organize a much better world down here where we all actually live. Thank you.